3 shootings in one city in less than 24 hours. Well, Newark, New Jersey awoke riddled with bullets today. 1 dead, 13 injured, and again in a single 24-hour period. Not one single person has yet to be arrested. This all coming only a month after the introduction of Newark Mayor Cory Booker's Safe Summer initiative. Hardly. It is turning into a summer of violence for New Jersey's largest city. This violent night, just the latest in a sad string of similar events. And I want to go to Newark right now, where our own Kim Lengel is in first position with the very latest. Good evening, Kim.
Good evening, Rich. Well, we are in the heart of the South Ward in Newark for what only can be described as what was a bloody, bloody Monday last night. Let me take you to the scene. Picture this in your mind. It was a hot night, just like it is right now, last night. And right where we are here, you can see a driveway behind me. There was a group of people standing there, which included the 15-year-old who died. Now, what happened next was a car drove by and unleashed a hail of bullets into the people that were standing in this driveway. Now you can see balloons and makeshift posters for these people. Earlier today, FiOS 1 News reporter Angelique Teje caught up with the mother of that 15-year-old. His name is Al-Aziz Stewart. Her name is Monica Jenkins. Here's what she had to say, still very shaken.
I don't know anything at this particular moment. I don't know anything. My neighbor found out, and then my sister came and informed me that my son had just been murdered. 3 of his friends that got shot, they was all teenagers, 17, 16, 18.
Who do you think could have done something like this?
I don't have the slightest idea, man. I don't know. I don't know. It's been so many homicides in Newark, it's not funny. I can't even begin to tell you.
Now, these shootings have triggered a lot of criticism that's been pointed at Newark's Mayor Cory Booker. People have said this is a black eye for him. People have also said that this gun violence is Cory Booker's war. Cory Booker's war, and that he's losing the war now. He has been quite silent when it comes to gun violence, and our reporters have pressed him. We pressed him today, and here's what he said.
The reality is that this was a small group of drug dealers who have been involved in a back and forth for many days now. We're seeing connections between the actions that happened on July 4th to this crime. And so all of our investigation right now is revealing that this is actually a surprisingly small group of individuals who are not random violence. They're targeting each other. We know from the incident that happened on Halsey Street yesterday that this is a targeted act, and we know from the incident on Shear Avenue that these were targeted attacks. And many of the people, not all, but many of the people involved on Shear had criminal histories as well.
Now we're standing on Shearer Street, Newark, and I don't know if you can see behind me, but there is a crowd assembled. They're chanting, and they're saying that they want the violence to stop, the gun violence that has riddled the city. Joining me now is Sharif Aminotep. Sharif, you are one of the protesters who were down there today. How do you feel about your city today?
We feel as though that the violence in our community is a public health issue, and it's a state of emergency. We've been calling on the mayor, the city council member, calling on the clergy, the pastors in the community, and the community as well to come together in a mass meeting, and we need violence to declare the public health issue and a state of emergency in our community.
Give me a sense of the volume of this. I've heard many different things, including that the mayor is not releasing all the factual statistics about this gun violence. I've heard 200 shootings. I've heard your funeral homes are busting. Is that accurate?
It's like in our city, every day there's a shooting or active violence in our community. The mayor refuses to address it. He refuses to address the community. He refuses to speak to the mayor about it. All he keeps telling us is that, he's working, he's building up the community to make it safer for us. But we don't see any of the results. We see new hotels and stuff going up in our downtown area. We see new construction. But when we look at the issues of violence and we look at the employment, there's nothing for us. He's like really just leaving the community out there to die in a sense, because just yesterday, as we speak about the Bloody Monday, people come downtown in broad daylight and open fire, not even caring in our community.
What is your block like? Where do you live, and what is that like when you leave your home?
In my community, it's unsafe. It's really unsafe because we have less police on the force because of the mayor. He said he's balancing the budget, so he lays off our police. But he runs and tells us that, he's for quality of life and for public safety. But when you lay off police officers and you see a scourge of violence in our community and you say it's not because of the police are laid off, it's not because of unemployment, it's not because of the layoffs, what is it because? When you see poverty, you see unemployment, we see high crime rates in our community.
What can you do? You're a member of the Newark Anti-Violence Coalition. What can you do other than just to say, I feel your pain? For someone who's hurting, you can say, I feel your pain. But how do you stop this?
Well, on next week, from July 20th of 2009, the Newark Anti-Violence Coalition have been doing similar protests that you have seen. We have been getting in the middle of the intersection, blocking traffic to inconvenience people, to let people know that the violence in our community is abnormal. It's a public health issue. It's a state of emergency. And as a community, we have to do something about it. We cannot put all the blame on the shoulders of the mayor, of the police officers. This is our problem. It's our job. It's black on black violence in our community. We have to address it. So what we have been doing, next week will mark 2 years. The Newark Anti-Violence Coalition been staging rallies and protests and community forums and town hall meetings to address the issue of violence. We have invited the mayor each rally. He have yet to attend one rally to address the community. Who cares about what happens to us in our community? A 15-year-old boy was killed last night. Last month it was a 13-year-old, and he has yet to come out and to address the community. He'll do a press conference. It'll be down by the police command center or headquarters, but not in the community. Right. The community needs to hear from the mayor. We need to hear from the mayor. What is he going to do to address the issue of violence other than going around it?
Right. Sharif, thank you so much. Yes. And good luck to you and your organization. Now, there's going to be several vigils tonight, of course, for the 15-year-old who lost his life in that shooting. And this group behind me is clearly going to continue into the night. Rich, back to you.
Kim, thank you very much.